Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Hope everybody can hear me. I did a sound check before I got on this. Testing. Let me know if you can hear me. So this is the Tech Hangout updates and QA live stream. Hope the music is not too loud. Feel free to chat and post questions. This is just a Sunday Tech Hangout for fun. Okay, thanks, S. Fletcher. You can hear, so that's good. The sound is working. S. Fletcher approves. Thank you. I'll give more time for people to join. Hey, Northern Chimp. Shout out to Northern Chimp, always supporting the channel. So hope your Sunday is going well so far. Okay, thanks, S. Fletcher. Thank you. S. Fletcher also always supporting the channel. So thank you guys for always being here and supporting. And we're going to have a good stream today. Please feel free to post questions. This stream, I feel, was by request. Been getting some different questions, so I wanted to pop on and do kind of a Q&A, but it's also just kind of a hangout too. So feel free to chat, and I've let some people know about the stream on social media, so I'll give a little bit more time for that. So again, this is just a Sunday tech hangout for fun. You know, we're just hanging out, tech chatting. I do have some announcements and updates that I'm going to talk about in this stream, so stay tuned for that. Northern Chimp says my Sunday is over. I'm in Europe. So it's Monday. Is it still Sunday or is it nighttime? Thank you. Yes, it's going great so far. It's 5:53 here, so evening time. I just had dinner, so I'm pretty good so far. After this stream, I'm probably gonna have some tea, watch a movie, go to bed, you know, normal Sunday activities. Okay, so I'm gonna get started here. Okay, so first off, I'm for streaming. I was using OBS, but I'm trying StreamYard now. Let's see if I can get this. All right, there we go. All right. Yeah, so I'm using StreamYard now. It's easier to set up streams with StreamYard from what I can see so far, as far as the graphics, etc. and I like the features that it has. So this will be my first time using it on this stream. Although I still use OBS to record my other videos, but I think from now on I'll be using StreamYard. It was just such an easy process, and I don't have to really, do anything extra. They have all the graphics and plugins and stuff there for me, so it's just easier to me. So that's why it was taking me a little bit to get started. I'm like, okay, where do I go to again? Thanks, S. Fletcher. Yeah, I like it. I like StreamYard. So if you're looking for streaming software, OBS or StreamYard are good options. And the only thing about OBS, like I said, it's there's a little bit more setup involved as far as graphics. That's about it. And I just then I really like StreamYard because I can easily display comments, things like that. Don't have to do anything crazy. But either one is a good software. Oh, StreamYard though, you don't have to download it. It's right on line, so you just sign up for an account. That's it. And then you connect it to the social medias you want. Now, one thing though, I wanted to stream on multiple platforms, but you have to pay for that, and it's only letting me do one for the free plan, and I'm fine with that. So I just have to share it via a link on the other platforms, and with YouTube, I just connect it right on. But I may try it. I just don't stream enough to pay for it. So yeah. So I got a comment, LAFTA. Recently, I visited the Silicon Valley for the first time. Everyone I met were very positive, and the majority were working on AI. Are you involved in it? Nice. I haven't visited Silicon Valley, but it's on my list. And I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear you had a good experience. I know there's a lot you can learn there. So I use ChatGPT a little bit for some things, like to help me with ideas, things like that. I use one AI tool that I use, and I'm sorry, I'm having voice issues right now, not technical difficulties. So there's a tool called Scribe that I use at work. I posted a video about it recently, but it automates the technical documentation process for you. So that's one of the most recent AI tools that I've started using. And then at work, it's still I'm currently a web administrator. We don't do a whole lot of AI in my role right now. We do have tools that we implement that use AI, but it's as far as on the development side, not at the moment. But I've definitely been trying out some tools where AI has some underlying AI technology there. But I definitely want to visit Silicon Valley. I should do that very soon. Thank you for sharing, LAFTA. Are you working in that area, or are you just visiting? Yeah, so if you see me all over the place, it's just because I'm getting used to the StreamYard software. So many options, but I was able to get it set up how I need it, you know. I was able to get everything set up. So, yep. So that's that. Most were in Python and linear algebra. Nice. Lafta says, I'm not into coding yet, but they encouraged me. Yeah, I think it's a good field to be in if you're really interested in it. If you like to learn about technology, coding, software, I highly recommend it. I'm always learning new things. To me, it's fun. I like to, I just like that there's always something new to learn. You never get bored in this field. And it's also a rewarding career. The more you learn, the more you earn. So I like it. And the more you can earn, or the more you can earn. So, and then you can kind of, in a sense, take control of your career just through consistently self-studying, learning on your own, networking with other people, learning from other people. So I agree. I think it's a good field if it's something you really, really want to do. So something else I wanted to announce in this stream is regarding I have a project that I was doing, and let me just pull it up. Heck. Right. All right, got a question here. Mark Benson, where can I find good tutorials on Nginx? Sorry, I can't spell that. Yeah, me neither. I mean, yeah, it's a weird word. Magento and GitHub. I'm looking for hands-on interactive tutorials. I like to learn how to be a web administrator. Nice. Um, Nginx. Uh, I'm not 100% sure about Nginx, like tutorial wise, because everything I know about Nginx I learned on the job. So I was taught on the job. Same thing with Magento. Those are two technologies that I didn't look up or anything. It's just that I happened to find myself in a job working with them, and then so they trained me on how to use them. This is just without me doing any research, because I can definitely try to help find those for you. GitHub, let's see, I would recommend for GitHub, their website would be a good resource. GitHub has like step-by-step tutorials. I have a couple. I've discussed GitHub on my channel, but like as far as official documentation, things like that. Let me go to one second. All right. So, and I had to use GitHub when I was making GitHub videos. I actually had to go to their website to help me explain it a little bit. But on their, let's see. Actually, what is it called? Git. Oh, Git guides. So github.com/git guides. Okay. This is one. github.com/git guides. This is just again without me doing any research. So I could definitely dig into it more, but just without doing research off the top of my head. This is one that helped me a lot. So I just so it talks about what is Git. Well, Git, not GitHub, but it's telling you about the underlying technology first and why you should use it, et cetera, et cetera. how to install Git, because you do need Git to use GitHub. Installing it, some commands. But again, on my channel, I do have a couple of videos on that. Let me go into, so in my playlist, go to my playlist and go to tools and tips. These are a couple of videos that I have. So I have like a demo that I did with a sample project using Git and GitHub, and then I have a video called "Set Up a Custom Domain with GitHub," and then some useful terminal commands as it relates to kind of Git and GitHub. Not kind of, but yeah, like I talked about the terminal commands, and then I talked about commands that relate to Git and GitHub. Mark Benson, cool. Thanks, that'll help. Anything I'm missing or any other technologies I need to learn? I actually have experience with WordPress. WordPress is a good start because it depends on what you're administering. Did I say that correctly? Administering, because basically when you're a web administrator, it depends on what technology that company uses. In our company where I work, we use Magento, Adobe Commerce, which is a CMS platform, and depending on what that company cites as what you need experience in, I think WordPress is a good start, because when you know WordPress, or if you know any CMS, is a good start, because they're all it's kind of that framework of, there's a login page and you have all your settings, and there's coding involved if you develop within that CMS. So yeah, WordPress is a good start. Web administration, sometimes they require some coding knowledge. Like my company required a little bit of JavaScript API knowledge, only as it relates to troubleshooting issues on the websites, but we don't use it to code or anything. It was just helpful to know. So some programming knowledge may be helpful. DNS knowledge is helpful. Understanding how to edit DNS records properly, get a site pointing to correct servers, like server DNS, domain knowledge. So kind of like that sort of generalist knowledge in a sense, a little bit about everything. But you're not, I think that's a good start where you are right now. I'm also still learning how to be an accessible web developer for people with disabilities. Yeah, there's actually a section on MDN that it covers a lot dealing with accessibility. That's something I'm going to be studying more too, but there's simple things you can do, like putting in alt text, and just it's simple things you can do to make a website more accessible. And they have also accessibility tools as well. Like one tool that we use at work is called UserWay. I'm not saying that you still should develop accessibly, but there's tools that kind of help out. UserWay is like a widget that you put on your website, and it allows people to adjust things like the contrast or the text size, just a whole bunch of stuff. So that's something that we implement on our sites. So I'm gonna send you this accessibility guide. This may be helpful. Oh, I'm sorry. No, MDN. So developer.mozilla.org. So MDN, M as in Mary, D as in dog, N as in Nancy, or D as in David. So that's the website, and that's the accessibility chapter that I just sent you. So if you want to check that out. Also, I think it's cool that you want to be a web administrator. I think it's a nice job if you're just starting, because it allows you to work on configuring websites, fix issues on websites, and it could be a good place to start for a career in web tech software. Yep, no problem. Hopefully that helps get you started, and good luck on your journey as a web administrator. So here's my first announcement. So my jobs listing project, getintotech.io, is currently on hold. Um, so this was a listing that I was maintaining for entry level web tech software related jobs. So due to a change in priorities at the moment, I don't have pretty much any free time to keep the list updated with new jobs. So just have too many things going on at once right now, and it's quite a lot of work to keep it updated and maintain, unfortunately. But for now, I'll still be talking about jobs related topics on the channel via my new tech chat series. And I'm always happy to answer related questions, related career jobs questions when I can. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know, if you use this resource to look for jobs, that's one of the reasons why I've just been like super busy, and it's a lot of work to, even though it's something I want to do and pursue, I would love to build it out, but life, man, busy. I have to like kind of choose what's a priority at the moment. But again, still happy to answer questions related to jobs, things like that. I'd love to get an internship and get some real life experience. Yeah. There's a lot of internships out there, and I can try to help, if I see any around. I mean, I see them often, like, just I'm always keeping tabs on the job market, and I may see an internship, things like that. So maybe it may be a thing where I could host live streams just talking about jobs. Maybe I can't consistently maintain a spreadsheet of jobs right now, but perhaps, I can hop on and we can look at what's gone on Indeed.com and other sites, because there's tons of places out there that have like the contracts, the internships, I've seen volunteer work if people are interested in that, still experience. So yeah, maybe I could just do some streams just talking about that. As Fletcher says, awesome. Thanks, as Fletcher. I appreciate you. Thanks, Mark. Thank you all for understanding. Um, Tech projects, websites, it's like they just take it. You have to have the time, and I'm a person that if I do something, I want to do it full force. And I just noticed, okay, this hasn't been updated in a while, so maybe a thing where I have to just pause it for now. McKinley says my first internship was writing SQL for an ISP. Nice. They did not post they were looking for an intern. I contacted them out of the blue, and they hired me. Wow. That's another thing you could do, Mark. If there's companies you're interested in, you could reach out to them. So good idea. I've done that before. I've reached out to companies before. and 2019, 2020. I've had instances like that. Don't worry about it. I can check that out. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do. And I'm going to talk about that more in just a second. All the things that I'm working on, all the things. You know that meme, all the things? Does anybody know? Nobody knows that. Okay. This is not a sponsorship, but I'm drinking kombucha, ginger and lemon flavored. So thanks, McKinley, for that tip. So reaching out to companies is a thing. So cool. Okay, good. Just making sure it wasn't just me, because I have inside jokes in my head, and when you're around other tech people, they may get it, but when you're around non-tech people, they're like, "What are you talking about?" All the things, all the things. It's tasty, and it's actually healthy for you too. So again, not a sponsorship. I'm not trying to sell kombucha. This is a tech channel. We don't, well, tech juice. No, I'm kidding. Um, you're welcome. I got multiple jobs like that in the past. Nice. One thing, I'm a web administrator right now. And one thing I would prefer to just move into a new role within my current company if I can. That so I'm luckily I have the support of my manager, and I've been there. It'll be 2 years in January, so that's what I'm gonna be talking about next. So is there anything we can do to help? So I was thinking about that. The with getintotech.io, it's the most important thing that I wanted to focus on was the listing, the entry level listing. Regardless if it has a website or not, the most important thing was that people could find entry level jobs, and it requires humans, because a lot of times, even if you search entry level jobs, it may or may not be entry level. So my eyes were scanning for things like, hey, you don't need experience. If you just have personal projects, it takes a person to go through and look through all these, and that's why it's so much work. I mean, getting help on it, I mean, that'll require people taking time out of their schedule to hunt the leads and get the jobs on here. And I don't know if anybody would want to do that. So the point I'm trying to make is I would want a better system for it. You know what I mean? Something where, okay, maybe there's something created to where anybody can just post and we all kind of do it as a community. You know what I mean? Take it off the spreadsheet, put it in some kind of form where somebody can submit, and then somebody a moderator reviews, and maybe I could do it on WordPress. But the problem is that me being part of it now wouldn't be a thing, and I'd want to make sure I participate. Essentially, it'd be a thing where somebody else would be completely running it. And then I have this whole system behind the scenes where I find the leads. It's complicated. Complicated. So I'm trying to get it to where if when I start it back up, maybe it's a thing where, like I said, there's something set up to where I could have contributors who want to contribute, and people to moderate that and things like that. So those are thoughts I've had, and that's one of the reasons I don't have time, because it requires a lot of thought, and I'm putting my thoughts are on other things right at the moment. So anyway, thanks, Mark. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I love when family members come into the chat and supporting me. So awesome. Today I came across a free 11-week web design program offered by LA Pacific College. Do you know about programs like this? Is it like 11-week web design program? Is that like a boot camp in a sense? I've done a boot camp. I know about those. It helped me a lot. Probably couldn't have done it on my own. I'm here because that's where I started, in a boot camp, and I started working in the field. Well, first I did boot camp in 2019 to 2020, started working in 2020 in a junior developer position, and then just kind of went from there. I think it might have taken longer had I done it myself, but some people do, they self-teach and they're fine. But I didn't even know where to begin with full stack applications. So boot camp gave me a high level overview of that, and then I was able to start working. I got enough knowledge to start working at least. So if you change your mind, I'd love to help. Well, my mind is definitely set on doing it, but time is not on my side. But yeah, I'll keep that in mind, Mark. And that's something it's a couple of things I'm just trying to do, and once I do those things, then I can hop back on this project. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is something I'm doing right now. First, okay, where am I? Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to use StreamYard at the same time I'm using it for the first time. So I have a new series that I've started on this channel. And if you frequent the channel, if you're a subscriber, you probably already know, but I'm going to talk about it here. So Tech Chats is a new series I've started on the channel. I'll be bringing on and chatting with professionals. And this is because I can't really keep the jobs listing updated right now. This will kind of still keep me on, allow me to still do career related topics on the channel. So anyway, I'll be bringing on and chatting with professionals from a wide variety of tech roles to help others learn about different kinds of roles available in the tech industry, more so the software and coding side of tech. And I already have these two uploaded so far, so feel free to check them out. I chatted with Micah, who is a PIM digital analyst, which stands for Product Information Management, and Mike, who is a migrations engineer. Now, if you find yourself saying, I've never heard of these tech jobs before, I personally had not either, and that's one reason why I'm doing this series. There are so many different kinds of software related tech jobs that we don't hear about every day. And so I thought it would be cool to bring people on that are in various kinds of positions. Some are entry level, some may not be. Either way, they are positions you can apply for, with pretty good starting salaries as well. So that's Tech Chats, the new series on the channel. And I'll post this, the playlist in the chat as well. Mark says, I found the migration engineer position to be extremely interesting. Yeah, I thought it was interesting too. I never knew there were whole jobs for migrations. It's a you know, there's a lot involved in that from what I learned about it, and so there's a whole job where people do that. And he has a we didn't discuss his salary, but it's a pretty nice salary. So that's all I can say about that. So that's the thing, migrations engineer. So you can look that up, maybe something you're interested in. There's so many tech roles out there. And tech is such a big field, and there's so much out there now. No one person can do everything anymore, or even two people. I mean, you need different kinds of teams now, and it's going to continue to be like that. It's just a growing field, and that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing for us. We want it to be a growing field. Yes, very. Okay. Also, for upcoming tech chats, I plan on bringing on tech professionals currently working in email marketing related roles. So, based on some of the feedback via my channel's comments, this is my comments dashboard. If I search email in my comments dashboard, I see that email related topics are still of high interest. I get a lot of comments about email topics. So if there are any questions that you like me to ask in these specific interviews, please let me know. So again, I'm going to be having people on that are currently in the email related field in tech. So one of my upcoming guests is an email marketing specialist. They're actually an entrepreneur, but I'll also have people that are in email roles that are just, in a full-time job to come on as well. So again, let me know if there's any questions that I should ask. Any entry-level jobs while I'm in boot camp? Yes. Depending on what knowledge you have now, if I've seen lots of entry-level jobs out there. Like that'll say they just want to see your portfolio, just want to see your projects. If you have projects along those lines, I've definitely seen jobs like that. I actually got a job while in boot camp, a junior developer job. back in 2020. So I'm hearing different things about the job market right now. I actually, so I've been in my current role for almost, well, it's a year and 8 months, something like that. So 2 years in January. So I'm keeping tabs on the job market. So based on my own research, just keeping tabs. Yeah, I still see entry level jobs out there. Doing full stack, nice. It's good to know both back end, front end. JavaScript is where I'm at right now. Okay, nice. That's what I'm focusing on as well. JavaScript. Yep. Now that Siobhan has brought up JavaScript, let me get into my next topic, which is what I'm focusing on. 100 days of code JavaScript. JavaScript is part of my 100 days of code right now. So that's another reason why I'm so busy these days, is because I'm focusing on reviewing or relearning JavaScript at the moment. My past 3 jobs mostly focused on HTML, CSS. So I'm getting back into JavaScript now as part of the next phase of my career. So let me get this pulled up here. All right. Yeah, so I've been doing 100 days of code, and JavaScript has been a part of that. I'll be making videos related to this soon. This is my 100 days of code progress. I'm currently on day 97, which is the furthest I've ever made it through a 100 days of code challenge. Yay! I tried it before and forget I'm even doing it by day 5. But not this time. I stuck with it. I started with a review of, if you go all the way down to day 1. So I started with a review of HTML and CSS fundamentals. Learned some stuff I didn't know before. And then I got to JavaScript by day 63. Yeah. So also, just to let everybody know, I'm a realistic person. So this was not a consecutive 100 days. There's been times I took a week off, or 2 days, or 2 weeks, something like that. But I finally got through it. I've been working on this for several months now, or I would say, when did I start this? I can look at the first project and let you know. The first, like this repo. Oh, wow. Well, it couldn't have been 6 months ago. I don't think I was working on it that long, but it definitely took more than 100 days. But I just kept picking up where I left off. So I did not do this for 100 days straight. But I'm doing it now as I'm in the 90s. I'm like, hey, let's finish this up, right? So yeah, there's some projects I've done in here, and I have like different statuses. So it indicates whether it was a project that I worked on, or if I was learning something, or if I was just practicing. I have little statuses and links, just letting you know what I was doing at that time. So the 100 days of code has definitely been a great refresher. I think it really helps when you're doing something like this every day, even just reviewing the fundamentals. You never know what you may learn. Northern Chimp says, so am I. Nice. I'm a full stack JS developer at the moment. We use Vue, Express, Postgres, and Mongo. Nice. So during my 100 days of code, I'm in vanilla right now. And it just, I feel like once I get to the libraries again, in boot camp, I learned React JS. But I know once I get to the libraries, I think I'll be able to pick it up pretty easily. Nice. You'll love it. Can you please review my resume? Sure. Message me on LinkedIn, Giselle T. And I'll try to look at it as soon as I can. I can't make any promises. My camera battery is dying, by the way. So I'm going to have to get up and just put my backup battery in there in a second. But yeah, I'll try to look at it as soon as I can. Just message me on LinkedIn or Twitter, Gishelliper, or Instagram, Gishelliper as well. I'll drop this in the chat. Twitter. No, Gishelliper is my Twitter name. What am I doing? Instagram. Gishelliper. I'm not a resume expert or anything, but I can definitely try to help out. Wow, that did not format good at all. Okay, just a second. I need to plug in my backup battery because it's my battery's gonna die. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Forgot to unmute myself. Rookie mistake, right? That's a rookie mistake. Okay. Let me just go back. That's great. Thank you, Siobhan. Awesome. Am I saying your name correctly? Egberto? Hello? Can everybody hear me? Hello? Thank goodness. Because I saw like nothing is muted. So what the heck's going on? Okay. Egberto says, awesome. Thank you. Okay. How did you decide structure your 100 days of code, or did you just wing it? Hopefully I'm saying this correctly. Egberto. Okay. So what I did is I'm going to talk about that now. Do I like this format, or do I want to do picture in picture? I'm going to do this one. All right. So let me show you the course that I was doing. To answer your question, I didn't wing it because because I knew about this course. I knew that I was going to do this course in this 100 days of code. So yeah, I had kind of a better, I had a structure. So, oh, Yeah, you got it. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. So to answer your question, okay, here's the course that I did. Picture in picture. All right. Me trying to still figure out how to use StreamYard and like so many different things on my screen right now. Okay. All right, this is the JavaScript course that I'm doing, and it's on MDN, and it covers pretty much everything you need to know when learning the fundamentals, and I completely recommend it. So not only did I do JavaScript, but I started up here with HTML structuring the web. So it went through intro to HTML, from the fundamentals to debugging to multimedia and embedding to vectors to responsive images to HTML tables, then CSS. I got through CSS structured, different projects like styling a biography page. And then even within the modules, there are these active learning exercises as well. So you're not just reading a wall of documentation. There's all these different things you're going to be doing if you go through the MDN web development course. And there's combinators and box model, sizing items, debugging CSS, more projects that you do, and it tells you what to do and how to build it. Not how to build it, but it gives you the instructions. And what I did was on my GitHub, any kind of projects I did within the MDN thingy, not thingy, I'm sorry, not the MDN web development course. Technically speaking, I threw them up on GitHub, so just keeping track of what I was doing. So I had some kind of a structure there. So I would put them on there and talk about what I did on each one. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not able to just wing stuff like that because yeah, I'll forget that I'm doing it, and just having that structure kind of help. This is a project that was on the MDN web development course as well. So with JavaScript though, it starts at like, what is JavaScript? It's going to take you through that. And then after that, it goes through different chapters like troubleshooting JavaScript, arrays, string methods. As you read along, it just takes you through pretty much everything you need to know. So like these projects, like within each module, here's one. These are a couple I did recently. So printing these projects, they give you some instructions and you put your solution inside of a code sandbox. So that's one that I did recently. And then another one, top 5 searches. So they give you these instructions like use push and pop to maintain a record of active items in a web app. And then you put your output here and then you can test and see if it works. And I had mine, I pulled them out. I pulled the code out of this and put it in kind of my own editor to test it out that way. And that's it's going to be a series of videos that I'm going to make regarding this because I want to talk about how I work through these projects. And I did that with some of the HTML, CSS stuff too. I just work through a lot of the stuff and then make a video about it because that helps me. When I make videos about coding stuff, it helps me explain it. Or I may blog about it. I haven't been blogging lately, though. I prefer to make a video. It's faster. Well, no. Writing a blog post is faster, actually, because you don't have to edit them. Videos, it's a lot of work. A lot of freaking work. But I enjoy it because I get to meet people. So it's harder you can meet people through blogs, too, but it's not as... YouTube is more interactive with the tech community, so that's why I like it. So I'll be doing this silly story generator next. And so you're creating an app that generates random silly stories based on all the knowledge you've worked through. So each one of them builds on top, so every chapter that you do is going to build on top of it. Like There's an image gallery that I'm going to be building. There's, after I study JavaScript objects again, adding features to our bouncy balls demo, things like that. So, and everyone, like I said, I'll make a video about it because it helps me learn and reinforce what I'm learning. Thingy is a technical term. Thank you. That's what I've been telling people, but for some reason they don't agree with me. I've been telling people that for years. Thingy is technical. I'm telling you. It's in the dictionary. If you don't see it, you have to get the updated dictionary. So it's a dictionary that it's in the dark web somewhere. I can't get into it here. So, oh, another thing I want to talk about too. Here. All right. Another thing I want to talk about is the discourse. I'm a part of MDN's discourse, and this is a place where you can get feedback about your code solutions and meet other people who are also in the community doing this course, the MDN web development course. So I've made some different posts here. Like every time I do a project on MDN's website, I'll say, hey, can somebody look at my code? Like here's a recent one, printing these projects. You just say the assignment you want review on, you want someone to give you feedback on, and you post your code, and then somebody will respond, what they think about it. And usually it's somebody that has already gone through the course, or it could be an MDN employee or something. And with this one, I'd use Slice to get my solution. But in this particular project, .split was a better method to use for getting, what was the project? Printing projects. I would have to go into details about, but anyway, I was learning about array methods essentially, and that's what this project focused on. But the person said that my code worked as expected, and they were just giving me feedback on a more cleaner approach essentially. And so I just think it's good to have some kind of community or somebody that can review your code when you're whether you're reviewing something or learning something. It's just nice to have that community. So MDN discourse, if you happen to do MDN's web development course, I know I talk about that ad nauseum, because I just feel like because I've been through, I went through coding boot camp and things like that, and then going over this after that, I can see that how it's really in depth. So if you go through this, definitely sign up for the discourse, and you can chat with people, meet new people, things like that. It's great to have that option to get feedback for a free course from people that are already familiar with the course itself or have gone through it. Thanks for answering. Makes sense. Find a course and spread it across the 100 days. Yeah, because most of the time I can only do it for an hour after work every day. Limited time. So yeah, about an hour after work every day, because I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. I noticed it was getting dark outside. Well, it's light, but it's getting there. So an hour a day, Monday through Saturday, it's getting me to where I need to be. So that's about all I can dedicate to it right now, and then hoping to land myself in a new role. But I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now as a web administrator. So, and everything I'm learning it helps towards that. It just makes me a better whatever I'm doing, web administrator, whatever. It helps me think through problems and all that. So the structure is given by the course. Yes, it is given by the course. So you just self-pace, be disciplined. If you know where you want to go in life as far as your career in this tech field, it's much easier because I kind of know where I want to go. But if I was just beginning, I'd be like, am I on the right track? Or I wouldn't know. But this comes with experience. I know what I need to do, and I already know what track I want to be on. But part of me having this channel is to show that you don't have to overthink it. Learn and just go as you go at your own pace. Learn the fundamentals. Sometimes you're not going to have all the answers ahead of time. Even with your career, I didn't know if I wanted to do front end or back end. I just kind of did a job, and I just keep getting experience. And now I know that, yeah, I think I want to go ahead and focus on the front end for the time being. So, and then just kind of go from there. But in the beginning, it was just like, I just want a job. I just want to work in the field. I don't care what my title is. But now I'm like, yeah, I want to do front end. Please review my resume. Yeah, just message me on social media, and I will do my best to check it out. I'm not an expert or anything, but I can, based on what knowledge I have about applying for jobs, I can help out as much as I can. So yeah, so those were pretty much my announcements. Again, I just wanted to let everybody know what was going on with getintotech.io, as well as the new series, the new tech chat series. And then let me know if, like I said, I'll be having guests on the show, email marketing, people that are doing email related jobs. I'll have them on the show. And then JavaScript. I'm doing JavaScript. So those are some things I'm up to right now. So feel free to post questions in the chat. I'll just be here hanging out. Also, you can join the stream. Feel free to come on, hang out, and co-host with me. Just shoot me a DM on either Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn, letting me know that you'd like to join, and I'll send you the link. So if you want to come on and co-host, ask questions, talk, let me know. Co-host with me. I've never had a co-host before. Great. I hope everyone liked the video. Thanks, McKinley. And the new series is awesome. Thank you, Northern Chimp. I appreciate that. And I have more to come. I have about 10 people I want to bring on the channel to talk about different tech roles, etc. Thanks, Siobhan. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like the content. Thanks for the update. Look forward to the tech chat videos. Thanks, S. Fletcher. I appreciate that. Clapping emoji. How often are you going to do these live streams? I try to do them as often as possible. I just had a little time there where I gotten really busy. I try to do them as much as possible. And as much as possible has been like every 3 months. But I'm trying to do them. I had this goal where I wanted to try to do them every Sunday. But maybe I could try every other Sunday. Or I'm trying to get a schedule going here. So right now, as much as possible, I'll try to come back on hopefully in the next couple of weeks, or I'll try to come next week. It's just hard to decipher when, because sometimes It's just times where I'm just super busy. So let's say twice a month for now on Sunday. And if I can do more than that, I'll try to do more than that. Should I skip my A+ cert and go straight for the Security Plus? Not sure, cuz that's more of the IT stuff, right? Can anybody answer that? Anybody in IT can answer Jordan's question about A+, the certifications? Cuz this is that's more the IT path, and I'm on the software web tech path, so not 100% sure. Again, you can also join the stream. Feel free to come on and hang out, co-host with me. Shoot me a DM on either Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn, letting me know that you like to join, and I'll send the link. And you will sit right on the left or the right side of me and co-host and just hang out for a little bit. Feel free to post questions in the chat. I'll try my best to answer if I can, and I'll just be here hanging out. Anyone in IT? Not sure what just happened to my screen there. It just went blank. My StreamYard completely went blank. Can everybody still see me? Are you using any AI tools at work? Yes, I am. Yeah, so this is one that I'm using. It's called what is it called? Scribe. That's what Scribe is. Let's see, Scribe. I typed in the website wrong. So it's an AI tool to turn any process into documentation instantly. I talked about this one on the channel. You can check it out. I'll post a video. That's one AI tool that I use. But again, it's for easily writing documentation, so it automates that process for you, which is good if you're on a team that they maintain their documentation well. And I'm lucky to be on a team like that, where we have great documentation. So this is one of the tools I use. So if you have again, a lot of technical documentation. This helps to automate it. And so I talk about how that works, and really what it's doing is it's capturing your screen, and then it makes a guide based on that. So that's one tool that I use. And then Chat GPT a little bit. I am checking to see if one of my tech buddies wants to come on and co-host with me. He's very knowledgeable in like the UI UX stuff. I'm gonna call him and see. Yeah, he's really knowledgeable. He's been in the industry for a while. He's one of the people I'll be interviewing. I'm just checking to see if he wants to co-host. I'll just call him and see. Hey.
Hi. Hey.
Hey. Do you want to co-host? Do you want to co-host with me?
Are you just testing it out? I'm not sure. What are you doing?
Actually, I'm on a live stream right now. I just want to see if you want to hop on and talk about UI UX stuff. Just for like 30 seconds. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to have anything prepared. We're just hanging out. Okay. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thanks. Bye. All right, one of my friends is probably going to hop on in a second, co-host with me. All right, so I'm thinking of sec later, but it requires knowledge in several fields. I think I'll move step by step, do some networking, some low level, etc., and then slide in. Nice. So Northern Chimp, what are you doing now? Are you doing development, or do you, what kind of role are you in right now? Hi, Jose. So nobody wants to come on and co-host, answer questions, chat, hang out, anything like that. I'm trying to implement or incorporate new things on the live stream, bring guests on, things like that. Thanks, S. Fletcher. Thanks for letting me know. What's up, Northern Chimp? Presently learning front end. Oh, cool. So what tech are you learning? Are you doing JavaScript? Well, ask this. Are you doing libraries or learning libraries? If everybody's curious, this is kombucha. No, this is not a sponsorship. I don't think I have any messages on any social media for anybody wanting to join the chat or co-host with me. Nope. Nobody. Vanilla.js, nice. Same. I'm reviewing and relearning. I'm on a raise right now. I'll pull up one of my exercises actually. 1 second. Sorry, every single time I have to be I'm still like again learning StreamYard and I'm like, what do I press again? All right, so I'm going to pull up one of my exercises that I did. What do you do to gain knowledge about an industry when you're applying to companies? Do you have interesting questions ready for an interview? Typically, yes. To gain knowledge about, like, do you mean the particular industry that the company is in? Like, if it's a retail industry or if it's something like that? Yeah, I do at least enough research to show them I did some kind of research about the company. Like I never just go in an interview unprepared, and I have a list of questions or mock questions like that I go through before every interview. Got it. So if it's retail health, yeah, I may do a little bit, and if it's an industry that I'm not familiar with, I'll just tell them I read a little bit about the industry. I read that you guys do this, but can you tell me a little bit more about it? Because it's okay not to know about the industry and have to learn it as you go. Like I had never worked on e-commerce websites before in my current web administrator position. I had never done e-commerce websites. So everything I know about e-commerce or what could go wrong on an e-commerce website came from my current position. And it was okay that I had never worked on them before. They were more concerned about if I knew the tech stack or knew WordPress or how to use CMS, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, APIs, things like that. So regarding Northern Chimp, Mohammed, my friend, there you are. I'm glad you could make it. Haven't heard from you in months, like years. Millennial. Not millennial. What am I? Sorry, it's past my bedtime. You know, I can't talk right now. No, but yeah, I'm doing good. I'm glad to hear from you. So Northern Chimp, on that note about Vanilla.js, let me show you some exercises that I worked on. Pull up my screens here. I'm having fun relearning and reviewing Vanilla.js, because like I said, I hadn't really touched it since coding bootcamp, so that's been a little while. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where my code is. There's David.
Hey there.
How's it going?
Okay.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I've been looking for a co-host. I'm like, I need somebody to co-host with me. So
this is an adjustment.
Yeah. Wait. Can you see the chat at all?
Yes, I can.
You can? Okay, good. Just want to make sure. So I'm gonna go to this question. When you're looking at companies, do you focus more on established companies as opposed to startups, and why? For me, I think when I'm looking at what, like, for the past couple years, I think I would move more toward established companies. just because I know I just felt more comfortable at the moment, because I know startups, it could be a thing where there's not a lot established yet. There may not be. It's like bigger companies or more established companies like the one I'm at. There's just a lot more process, a lot more stuff that is set, more organization. I think that's my word. The word I'm looking for is more organized. Not saying that startups aren't, but I think at the moment I was looking for something organized. So I don't have a strong opinion about it, but I would say established for now, because I just like that organization. I don't know if you, David, if you had a preference on that.
They don't have to be fully established, and I don't mind the ability to just wear multiple hats. But I have also worked at established companies, and the larger the company, the more kind of bureaucracy there is. So I think I like smaller companies or medium-sized companies, and have that flexibility of doing different things and using everything that you've kind of learned through time.
Yeah. So I guess it depends on how you feel, the person feels about it. Either way, you're getting experience. So I keep going back to this question because I want to talk about vanilla JS and some stuff I'm doing in vanilla JS. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out what link this is. Okay, I have so many different documents and notes, and it takes me a second to get to everything. So, are you working on anything, David, today?
It's a small little React project. I'm stuck on just use context and little things like that, and passing information to the different parts of the page. So the typography generator tool. So
Typography. Okay. And you're building that from scratch?
Using React and Next.js.
Nice.
Yeah. I kind of jumped off the vanilla train a little bit. I was on that train for a very long time and decided that I've spent too much time there and explore different things. But
I don't want to be on it long. I'm just doing it so I can get to so I'll know what I'm doing when I get back to React and all that. Because it was just like my brain, I guess it forgot everything, because I hadn't done JavaScript in several years with the jobs I was doing. So I'm going to share my screen. Can I share it with two people on? I can. Okay. So here's one of the exercises. It's printing products. And they give you these instructions. And you have to make it work how they want you to work. So printing out product names and prices on an invoice, then totaling the prices and printing them at the bottom. In the editable example below, there are comments containing numbers. Each of these marks a place where you have to add something to the code. They are as follows. So they give you some code at first, and then you just fill in to make it work. And as you can see in the live output right now, there's just zeros because there's nothing in there. So this was my code. This was my solution that I came up with to get it working. Let me open some code here to make it bigger. All right. Oops. Yeah, so I'll tell you what, this was their original code. S. Fletcher says this is a great chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like it. I told you I'm trying something new with the bringing co-hosts on. So never had a co-host, and that's why I love StreamYard. No, this is not a sponsorship. I love StreamYard. This is a genuine statement. Okay, I'm not trying to sell you anything. No, I promise I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay, so I'm gonna hide this. And then if anybody else wants to come on, let me know. Just message me and I'll DM you the link if you want to come on and chat. I can have, I think, up to 6 guests. All right, so they give you an array. No, this is not an array. They give you a list of strings and you have to turn it into an array. And then you have to turn it into an array and then make it so that each item is separated. Even when you turn it into an array, then they want each one to be a sub array. So you see how there's underpants, socks, t-shirts, but then there's a price beside it. So they want it to where underpants is like at 0 and then $6.99 is at 1. So like name and price. And let me get my console. I know, David, you're bored to death of this vanilla stuff. So
I want to see what the result comes out to be.
Okay.
Because I have an idea in my mind of what I think it should be, but I want to see what you're gonna come.
Trust me, I don't want to spend any more time on this than I have to. Okay, I just have to I want to get a live server going here because I'm using it for the console. Oops, I meant F12. What am I doing? All right, there we go. And I'm just gonna move this. See all these screens? I'm having a panic attack right now. There's too many tabs open. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm trying to show you like basically what I did. Test.js. Okay. So I took these strings first of all and turned them to an array like so. So, and you put them in an array called products. And then the second thing they want you to do is start a for loop to go through every item in the products array. So, well, first, before I do that, I'm going to console log each thing that I'm doing so you'll see, because it's easier. Come to the console, you can see my array of products. All right, can everybody see that? Hopefully. Okay. And so number 2, start a for loop to go through every item in the products array. So that's what I did. You start the for loop and under number 2. But MDN has some stuff in here that I'm going to delete because it's related to their sandbox. Some of this code is related to their sandbox. So I'm just going to remove that out of there, like this document.query selector stuff, and because it's not that's kind of how I was able to test it out in my own machine, was get the unnecessary stuff out of there. There we go. All right, so there's my for loop. So all this code is inside my for loop. And then below number 3, we want you to write a line of code that splits the current array item name price into 2 separate lines, one containing just the name and one containing just the price. If you're not sure how to do this, consult the useful string methods article for some help, or even better, look at the converting between strings and arrays section of this article. So for that, I did a very, very long route and I could have just split it, right? But I did slice. I know. Yeah. I know that now, but before I did slice. So this is what I did. I declared and initialized product name, right? And then to get product name, I sliced out 0 index up until the index of the colon, which is, you can still do it that way, but I could have just done split. And then I declared product price. Declared an initialized product price starting at the index of the colon. Starting at the index of the colon and then +1. Yeah. So, but then what I did was I converted that string into a number because this is a string, so I had to add the number method. But you see how that was like kind of unnecessary. So I'm gonna go with what Egberto said. Use .split. That was the method I should have gone with, and I'll show you what somebody on MDN told me that too. Let me just show you really quick. Coding notes. Where is it? Professional dev. Here we go. All right. Yeah. A very smart person, like an MDN expert. All right, there we go. This is the discourse. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So he says, yeah, you could have done new array product dot split. So I'm gonna do that, and I should do that instead, and then assign the array elements to the name and price. So the product name would be the 0 in the subarray, and the price would be 1. But I'm gonna keep what I have for now, just to show you what I did originally. Anyway, sorry about all that. I just derailed myself. So the next thing would be to, as part of the line of code above, you'll want to convert the price from a string to a number. If you can't remember how to do this, check the strings article. And I already did that. I put it inside. I converted it by using the number method, and then there's a variable called total that is created and given a value of 0 at the top of the code. Inside the loop below number 4, we want you to add a line that adds the current item price to that total in each iteration of the loop, so that at the end of the code, the correct total is printed onto the invoice. And you might need an assignment operator to do this. So for that, where's my code? Oh, I forgot that I declared a new array, product name, product price. And then I did total. So if you can see up here, I can just point right here. Total is equal to 0. So I have the assignment operator plus and equals to add the product price for every single item to get the total at the end. And then we want you to change the line just below number 5 so that the item text variable, I should be console logging this, I'm sorry, so you can actually see what I'm. All right, console.log name. This is because I'm still learning and everything. I'm trying to go step by step, so I'll know what I'm doing on each step of my code.
And you can even do a comment next to each so that you know what the output is. So if you put the string,
this is, or I can say product name. Oh, product name is. Why is it giving me an error? Do I need to do?
You need a comma as a separator before the variable.
Okay. And then product price is, here is the new array. All right, so comment that out for a second. All the items. So I'm gonna open up a new file just to grab only what I need out of there for now as I'm testing it. So all I want is this stuff. All right, comment that out, comment that out. There we go. All right, so I don't want it on auto save for now. All right, so there, the total is 0 right now. All right, here's our products array. And then, so now, why is that giving me an error too? Is there supposed to be another curly brace somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, so product is, so now it's, oh, that's what Egberto was talking about. It printed the new array all those different times. You're right. No, I don't want to put that in there. Okay, so that's my new array. So that's how I was able to test out as I was working through it to make sure that I was grabbing the right stuff and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm going to add back in, let's see. So the next one was related to getting the total. So it's gonna, is that called accumulating? The plus and equals. So this is so we can get the total price at the end. So it's gonna, for each one, it's gonna add the total. So it's gonna do $6.99 plus $5.99 plus $14.99 plus 31 plus 23. All right. So next, we want you to change the line just below number 5 so that the item text variable is made equal to current name, current price, for example, shoes 23 or shoes dash 23.99. And in each case, so the correct information for each input is printed on the invoice. This is just simple string concatenation, which should be familiar to you. So for that, of course, I just let item text equals, was it, okay, right here, product name and price, and I did a template literal because I just like how it looks and it's easier to read. So item text. So if I put that in, it should, product name is not defined. Oh, I know what happened. It's inside of a thing grab. That's my test code. So yeah, it's gonna actually, I'm gonna remove all this. Okay, so that's what they wanted it. They wanted it to print out where it's item dash dash price. And then finally, they want you to print it out to where the total prints at the end. So what I did was just console log it at the bottom. I know it's like, it looks confusing because I got all these comments in here. I'm actually going to take them out. Okay, number 4, number 5, console. All right, so that should print out the total at the end. unexpected. Oh, I'm gonna use this for loop because I got way too much going on right here. There we go. Code for my document. So the total is $83.95. So again, instead of dot split, I use dot slice to grab whatever part I needed out of each of the strings. And then I set it to a new array, product name and product price. Then for each item, I added the product price to this total up here, 0. And then item text is so that it prints off the product name and price in this format here. And then console log that so that prints, and then print out the total. The toFix method was already in there by MDN so that because without that, it would have done, well, at one point it was like doing, without the toFix, it did. Yeah, that's what it did. So you have to put that on the end so that the decimal goes 2 places. So anyway, that's one of the assignments. That's what I'm gonna talk about it on the channel, like in a separate video. Oh, okay. I'll drop the code also in MDN's live output. That's what it's supposed to look like on MDN, essentially. That's what they were looking for so it looks like that in their live output. JS is not great with decimals. I only know JS, so I don't know. I don't know what's great with it and which languages are best at it. It's pretty hot in here right now because when you're coding on Livestream, I don't know, it's like the heat turns up in the building or something. I don't know what happened. My body heat's going up. I'm like, is it hot in here? Can we turn the fan on?
Might be your processor. Aren't you on an i7 or?
Yeah, is my laptop hot? It's actually not that hot, surprisingly. Oh, David, I just knocked you off. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking up in other ways. There's like a currency method, but I think you use parse int, and then you can use a currency method, so you don't have to include the string and the currency. So it's something I used a couple of times at the previous job.
Well, see, the thing about these exercises is it's basically testing what you've learned so far. And so it's like just basic, nothing fancy, just basic string methods to print out these arrays or whatever you're doing in the exercise. So as I learn, then I'll use like the more advanced stuff. But because I'm still in this vanilla, like fundamental stuff, I know my knowledge is like limited. But I know there's like other approaches you could do to that.
Yeah,
it's actually a problem when you're dealing with currency and calculations. Wow. There's a historical reason for that, sort of stupid but unfixable. I watched this video on YouTube that said the best way to become a better programmer is to create your own programming language. That sounds awful and stressful.
Sounds awful.
It was it was a like a funny video. It wasn't like serious, of course. You can make it you can make it all into cents, multiply by 100, do your thing, then divide by 100. I've seen that method before too, somewhere. Oh, thanks. Got it. Format number as currency in JavaScript. Okay, let's see. How do I get back to you? Okay, here it is. All right. David just sent me this link here. So we have an array of books. Okay, I will keep this in mind.
Yeah, the international number format is just simple because then you're not adding the dollar sign as a string in front of a number.
Yeah.
And it's a little cleaner. But then you can see like the price, the initial price that they did was just a number without anything in there. So
got it. I'm gonna bookmark this so I'll know for future reference. I feel like I'm in first grade again, in a sense, with this. So I got to remember this for upcoming stuff. Bookmarks. Choose another folder. Career. C dev. All right. I love Free Code Camp's articles. Ugly but quick. That's what Egberto says. Ugly but quick. With the multiply by 100 thing, then divide by 100.
You kind of have to do a lot of those things when you're dealing with time. So the formula for calculating different time zones and stuff is kind of messy.
Yeah. And then, where is it? The other exercise was, top 5 searches. But that one was really easy. I only just had to do like add 2 lines of code. So they did everything. So it was just 2 lines of code. David, did you disappear? I'm just kidding. Thought you maybe went to the bathroom or something. Cool. So just to introduce everybody to David, David is a UX UI person and founder and entrepreneur, tech entrepreneur, who lives about 20 minutes from me. And so, David, if you want to elaborate on that, no pressure, but did I get that right? You focus and specialize on UI, UX, right?
I tend to use the title UX engineer because I feel UX is my main interest, or front end development. So,
nice.
Kind of starting a company based on brute force, and we'll see where it goes, but also just kind of exploring and seeing what's out there. So,
Sweet.
I like the front end of everything, and big interest in React and design systems.
So if anybody has questions about that, this is a good person to ask. I think I have mostly, it seems like from what I've seen in the chat this evening, it's a lot of like JavaScript people, front end people. One person asked about IT stuff, but I'm not well versed in the IT path.
And IT can be too generic of a term. There's a lot of times when you mention IT, you think of tech support.
Yeah, tech support, help desk,
which
system admin, maybe.
Yeah, but even that, system admins may be DevOps in this current world.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody kind of is getting closer to the code, and there's kind of fewer people kind of doing just general tech support without being familiar with what's happening.
Yeah. Wow, David and Jashelle, thanks for sharing tonight. Thank you, S. Fletcher, for supporting the channel. I appreciate you. I did tech support for a little bit. Hated it. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now.
I did it as well as an intern in college, and my famous answer was, "Did you restart your computer?" And actually, though, those simple answers are what you should kind of look at before kind of diving into the bigger ones. Is just making sure that you look at the simple solutions before kind of diving into the more complex, because you, would be surprised how many times forgotten karma or something get you stuck. And I've seen that from people that are far more senior than me.
Missing comma. Yeah. My battery's gonna die 1 second.
I would say the most problems with UX aspects are accessibility. That is something that nobody should skip, because accessibility not only helps your SEO, but it also makes sure that you're providing the best user experience for your for everyone, as well as just helping people out and kind of being a good citizen and developer.
Fresh battery.
So I was just talking about accessibility and how that's probably one of the most important aspects where apps don't do well.
Yeah. People get sued for, accessibility stuff too. So.
Yeah, and I'd also add that just because you add a plugin or a tool to your site, saying that your site is accessible, that's not really good enough, and that won't necessarily save your company or you from those potential lawsuits. Because a lot of times some of those tools will do things that they're using a lot of JavaScript to do that with, and will make decisions for the user that needs that additional help, and it might not provide the best experience.
And now there are accessibility specialists, people that specialize in, that's their whole role, is accessibility, which I'll actually be bringing on some accessibility people onto the channel. I have one person in mind. I had two, but one was not able to come on, but I have another one. It's not talked about enough. And I definitely want to bring a guest that, David, you're actually going to be a guest of mine, as you already know. So this is a good intro, but it won't be live. It'll be pre-recorded, because a lot of people are not comfortable, including myself, not comfortable with the live stuff. So for that, it'll be pre-recorded. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting warmed up. Yeah. But yeah, I do know some accessibility specialists, and that's their primary focus, is just improving. We're working at bigger companies. There's just become a requirement for that because they've had bad experiences in the past where somebody complained enough that it affected their bottom line. So
yeah. I know I talk about MDN a lot, but I'm subscribed to their newsletter, and they talk about that too. They well, not even just accessibility, but they talk about privacy too. Privacy and security, how a lot of sites privacy doesn't actually exist. I recommend MDN's newsletter big time, because they talk about accessibility stuff too, and I just learn a lot from them.
And MDN is a great point of reference. We used to refer to it a lot for making sure that we didn't miss all the different things. And I think now they even just have like a little section on each page for each thing, that especially in the HTML section, that focuses on the accessibility and what each of those pieces are. So there's also WCAG to be CAG.
CAG?
WCAG, which is basically they set the standard for.
Oh yeah. I've never heard it said out loud. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. The standard just got upgraded recently. So, that's the web.
That's good to know.
That's the web accessibility standards.
I've been on this site and ran my code through. Well, I just ran like some basic code to test it out through it's how you can check for errors in your code. It's called, there's a tool.
Axe, which
I think
is, so. Yeah, there's a plugin for VS Code, and then it'll add a little tab to above your terminal for checking if there's any problems in your code with accessibility. But there's also plugins for Chrome as well that can help check for those things.
MDN has another thing too. Let me share my screen. David, I think you can share your screen too if you wanted to share something. But one thing I want to show is on their guides. Like if you go to, let's say, let me just find a feature like what is something? Media queries. Let's try media queries. Or I need just, here's one. Just something, anything. Any feature on MDN has browser compatibility chart, which is cool. Even though there's a whole website based on that, it's just good that they have that at the bottom so you can see what a feature supports, more information, when it was released. You kind of have to turn your head to the side to read the text at the top. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I like this chart. And MDN does provide a way to do open source. So if you ever see a problem, you can actually submit a pull request as well. Is this a pull? Oh, I think that's just reporting an issue. But you can contribute by submitting pull requests. It could be as simple as a spelling error. I've seen an error before, and somebody got to it before me. I was like, darn, there was my opportunity to contribute to open source. But yeah, it was like on their Git guides website. Git changed their GitHub changed their the default branch from master to main, and it was still in the documentation. It was still master, and I caught it, but somebody else caught it before me. So it was documentation. So it was on this website, getguides.com. No, not gift guides, Google. Get guides. Here. Somewhere. It was somewhere on this page. Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? It's still there. See? Yeah, that should actually be main. So I can submit this and say that needs to be updated. Maybe they know and it's just not updated. I don't know. But if you go through these steps and then use this, it's not going to work because that's not the name of the default branch anymore.
Yeah, I think I have a few PRs out there for things that I've caught actually in tutorials and stuff.
Nice.
But they never merged them in. So.
Darn. That's okay. I'll just find another way. And I think people have already pointed it out, to be honest. I think I saw. So that's fine. What's the accessibility check tool's name, David, again?
Axe.
Yeah. Can you post a link to that in the chat?
Off the window. Oh, there it is. And EQ Systems is the authority or one of the authorities on accessibility. So if you're really interested in accessibility, they're the kind of one of the go-tos. And they have really in-depth, detailed training on accessibility.
Do you have any social media that you'd like to share if somebody wants to ask you additional questions?
No
pressure or anything. Just wondering.
I've been mostly on LinkedIn lately, so.
Okay. Here is the link, Northern Chimp. Well, no, that's not the link to that, actually. Okay, this is the VS Code extension Axe. And then I don't even know if these links are clickable from YouTube, honestly. Hopefully they are.
I think you can. A lot of times people leave like a bunch of the links in the comments.
Oh yeah, in the description. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I have not been keeping track, unfortunately, and this is a 2-hour-long stream so far, and that would require me to go back through the whole stream and like rewatch it. So hopefully everybody in here was catching the links while we were chatting about them. But I'll keep that in mind for future reference. I'll keep track of links and throw them in the chat.
Are you gonna go for like a Guinness Book of World Records of streaming?
This is that for me. It is. Usually I stream for maybe 45 minutes. As an introvert, that's pretty much the longest. Yeah, the longest well, no, I streamed into the new year. I streamed into 2023, which was like 4 hours long. So I don't know. Yeah. I think that might have been my record. So
I streamed for 0 minutes. This is my first time.
Dang, 0 minutes. That's pretty good. Well, no, you can't say that now. Because you joined, 20 minutes ago? So, yeah.
So now it's 20 minutes.
Yep, 21. Sorry.
And counting.
And counting. Northern Chimp says, yes, they are. Thank you. So they are clickable.
Nice.
Northern Chimp is a pretty cool person, supports the channel, frequent commenter. So shout out once again to Northern Chimp, as well as S. Fletcher. Thank you. And everybody else, everybody that's commented, Egberto and Jose, and just scrolling up, Jordan, thank you all for stopping by. Axe is installed. Cool. Honestly, because I'm a web administrator, at work I haven't been using VS Code much other than like basic stuff. So I'm gonna, now that I'm getting back into JS and libraries and all that, I'll have to get back to. I didn't even have Node.js on my computer because, like I said, I'm in a role where I don't need it right now. So I got to get back into all that. But I did install Node.js because David spoke at a recent meetup, and I had to install Node and React for Storybook JS. So
yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. I was like, wow, she set it up while I was talking. And it was working really well. So
it was a good presentation. So
thank you.
It was fun.
Yeah, that was a good event.
Yep. Very successful.
For anybody that doesn't know, Storybook is for component libraries. So if you're working in React or other or Vue or even Angular, you can even vanilla JS, you can create an environment where you can document your components in there. It's primarily for visual, so I don't think your console logs fully will be useful, but if you're doing a visual component like a button or something, you can test and document that and even do little logs within Storybook.
Yep. If I stay in my current role, I'd be working on e-commerce websites that are in Magento. And that would be, that would be cool to me. I already enjoy it as a web admin, so yep.
Well, I'm surprised. I guess I'm surprised Adobe hasn't destroyed Magento yet, though, because this is their third e-commerce platform that they've acquired. I think it's actually their fourth. So I'm just waiting for them to destroy Magento because they've destroyed every other e-commerce platform.
Nice. I know we use like a very heavily customized one. So architected by our engineers.
You can always just fork it and then maintain it yourself if they ever
True.
do go that
just
direction.
Set it on fire.
Yeah, I've used Magento a few times. I unfortunately wasn't too thrilled about it, but I think we didn't do things the right way and messed with the core a little bit so that it was barely updatable.
I've used Drupal. My first job was Drupal. Second job, no CMS. This job, Magento. So Drupal it took a little bit to learn it because there's a lot involved with it. Have you ever used it?
I looked at it.
You looked at it, nice.
I mean, I was like, oh yeah, Drupal's cool and this and that, but my first CMS was actually something called Concrete 5, and I think to this day it's probably the coolest because you can do a lot of things with a very little amount of knowledge of PHP or anything like that. And then I went to Joomla, which anybody that's used Joomla, I'm very, very sorry. And then went to WordPress and
I'd never heard of Concrete. Never heard of that.
It's still around. What's cool about it is you can create some websites.
I'm on the website now.
Because you can create you don't need a lot, and you can customize and create these little blocks. I think it was actually pretty innovative and kind of ahead of the curve with some of the things that they're doing back then.
Nice.
Because you can create editable sections and without using code, but if you needed to add additional sections, it was just like a few, like 1 or 2 lines of PHP. I didn't understand or know what I was doing, but I managed to build some sites with it.
Cool.
Yeah, so because they have like their little element or editable block areas.
So is this something you could just download, or you gotta?
Yeah, it's open source.
Got it.
I think what they did was they had it just like WordPress. They have a .org.
So you can download this. You can download it on your own server. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, you can download it or install it. If you're familiar with Composer, you can use Composer and get started pretty quickly.
Drupal, we use that in my Drupal job, Composer. So, wow. So I feel, let's see, WordPress, I believe, was my first CMS. No, let me tell you what my first CMS was. Something you probably never heard of. This was my first one. Cute News. When I was a teenager, I was a teenage blogger. This is when I first got into like making websites. So Cute News was basically like a PHP. It was a scripting. I can't remember. I don't even know. But you download it onto your site and you run it locally. And then you put, there's different things you can add on to do like comments and put in your articles and all that. This was like too long ago, so don't even ask me how to use it. But yeah, that was my first one. And yeah, you just install it and people can start, like, you needed a way for people to leave comments. Northern Chimp said cute. It is cute. It was cute back then. I can't believe it's still around. Oh, here's some screenshots. Yeah, this is it. So this was the dashboard. And
you know, when they're sticking to their tried and true icons from.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, these look so old. And yeah, so this is how you did your articles.
Yeah.
And then uploads. Definitely would not recommend it now. But back then, yeah, I thought I was doing something, you know. What else? There was another one, but I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, that one, yeah. Don't remember that one. Joomla.
You remember? You know what I'm talking about?
The one I remember the worst was Joomla. And
I just closed out of that tab. I didn't even want to.
Yeah.
I've never used it, but it doesn't even. I honestly, I think I saw one job using that.
That's probably my first experience with my sites being hacked.
Wow.
I didn't know what I was doing, and the same site got hacked like 3 or 4 times, and then
gosh,
I messaged the person that actually hacked my site, and he told me what to do. It was funny.
Wow. I wonder if there are Joomla jobs. El May says, hello. Hello, El May. How are you?
I mean, one of the last projects that I worked on, we actually moved from a Joomla site to Angular.
I'm actually curious.
It's still out there. I mean, it's improved a little bit, but
I just want to know, do people actually use this? I don't. Oh, well, it just says they want people with experience with any kind of CMS. El May says good. Glad you're doing good, El May. So this is David. For everybody that's just joining the chat, and David is my friend. Lives about anywhere between 5 and 10 miles away from me. I'm not really sure, but we're local tech buds, and he's joining me on the stream tonight. It is nighttime here, but it could be daytime where you are. I don't know. We have people from different time zones sometimes on, so well, here's a web administrator designer, but it's not exactly saying Joomla. Is just saying, like, I guess they want somebody who understands how CMS works and, like, proficiency.
Yeah, they typically, like, those are the big kind of 3 that they tend to use in descriptions.
Yeah.
Some interesting listings you've found.
Yeah. These are like I usually am on the entry level search filter, so. Graphics design and website specialist.
Pretty low salary.
Yeah. They should really just take that down. I think this is a mistake. The number should be backwards. They meant 85 to 88 an hour. That's what they meant. I don't know what happened. Oh man. No, I've seen like WordPress developer, must know WordPress, APIs, JavaScript, PHP, and it'll be like $16 an hour.
Yep.
It's in the heap of examples. Yep. And then there's those ones that are like, must know how to build spaceships, have a PhD in like, I don't know, computer science, dynamics, and industrial whatever, something like you've never heard of. And then must have 30 years of experience in React and JavaScript. Must be willing to work 7 days a week, and starting pay is like $25,000 a year.
Yep.
It's crazy.
How much can you squeeze out of one person? But
yeah,
everybody has a need for something.
This UX one is this one starts at like 92,000. So UX developer with polygraph required. I don't know what that is, but website development, 2 years in UI UX. SharePoint Windows admin. Interesting. Yeah, but I won't be using Joomla anytime soon. Thank you for letting me know that.
Yeah, me too.
No thanks.
I think now my curiosity is in somebody mentioned WordPress headless, and then I stumbled across something this morning about how you can use Next.js with in WordPress and wrapping it in there. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, when I was working at the Drupal job, they were trying to get into headless, I think, or I don't know, but headless became a thing.
Pretty useful. I think the WordPress API is very simple to use, so you can show blog posts from your non-WordPress site.
So
in there. So
I use WordPress for what you just said for that reason. But like let's say I go and build out my own website with like React or something like that. To keep my WordPress stuff, I'll still have to pay for it. So wouldn't it be best to like export it out of it'd be best to export them out and like maybe host it locally to get my blog posts out of the API? Because I'm paying like $15 a month for WordPress.
There's WordPress, just like anything. There's WordPress.org and then there's WordPress.com.
Mm-hmm.
WordPress.com, unless you're paying for like the very, kind of expensive stuff, they were not going to let you do whatever you want.
Yeah, well, I'm paying for the one you can at least edit your CSS.
But you can also go to like, for example, and it's not an advertisement, like WP Engine or another hosting company, and and do like headless WordPress.
But here's what I'm thinking though. Like, okay, so I have my posts in here. Like, well, first, hold on, where is settings? Somewhere in here. Okay. All right. So as you can see, yeah, $14 a month and $45 a year for the domain. So let's say I want to move off this WordPress.com. One thing I was thinking of doing was, where is it? Tools, export. There it is. So I can export my content out of here, like my pages, posts, feedback, etc., as well as my media library. And then I can go to WordPress.org. Is it org? Oh yeah. Download my own instance of WordPress. And then once I have my own instance, then import into that. And then that way I'm completely off paying for this and then can use it on my own server. When I'm ready, of course.
I've always avoided WordPress.com just because at the time, a long time ago, it was very limited to what you can do, and you couldn't really write your own code. I don't know what they're doing now, but as you can see, they also have a recommendation of hosts that can be used, or that they recommend. Unfortunately, most of which I wouldn't recommend personally, but but it also is good to be able to experiment and stuff, and there's ways of setting up WordPress.
Do you have to use a certain host to host WordPress? Because Drupal is like that. You can only use certain hosts.
I would say the audience for WordPress is much wider, but you can pretty much find almost a host almost anywhere for your site.
Cool. Yeah, I wanted to do that because I just have a lot of content in here that I don't want to lose, and I wouldn't want to have to manually take the content out of the posts and move them over.
Yeah, there's really two things that you need when you move a WordPress site. One is the media library. Actually, there's three things: is your kind of your WP content, which is your plugins, your theme, and your files or your uploads, and then if you can get your database, which there's a lot of plugins. There's a few plugins out there that you can export your database, which is a little easier than just exporting content that way because it's a little messy. Because you still need to access your media library. So if you have your database in those folders, it's a little simpler. But I don't know if WordPress doesn't allow for certain things because of how big their network is and stuff like that. But
yeah. So this is my portfolio, and honestly, I'm okay with. I probably will never take it off WordPress.com because it's really just a static thing. I just have it's for my resume, and then WordPress. The main reason I'm using it is for this part, the article. So when I post articles, I have the ability to have a comment section, and it kind of manages itself, and I can have subscribers, it keeps track of that without much, maintenance. And that's pretty much why I'm paying for this, is for the blog.
Yeah.
So
it does. It does what you need it to do. There's no, and it works.
Yeah. So I'm fine with it.
I have a personal WordPress site that I barely have touched for a very long time. So
yeah, it's like one of those things where I set it and forget it, and then it's what I use to anytime I want to make a blog post, make it, and then update my portfolio. If I'm applying for a new job, I may add some projects on there, things like that. But I don't want to put a lot of time into that because it's a portfolio. So my projects will be related to JavaScript stuff for right now, and then that'll go in my portfolio. So
yeah, most recently, depending on what you're doing, it feels like employers are starting to put more weight on people's websites and how they look and projects and things like that. I've always struggled with it because a lot of the work that I've done, I'm not able to show with the general public, and I don't want to risk myself by something getting leaked out that I wasn't supposed to show. So.
Yeah. My work stuff, all of my work stuff is in private repos.
But the public can still see, they're doing publicly displayed sites. So.
Yeah.
So it's not so much the repo, it's the visual work that I'm talking about.
Got it. Yeah. So we have to go and build our own stuff just to have something to show.
Yeah.
Which you have plenty of that. I have projects, but I really want to make something new, just something simple. All my projects are from older than 2021.
Some of my favorite projects are even older than that. I think some of my favorite projects are 2003 and
nice.
made in Flash, if anybody remembers that. But
yep,
I did some fun stuff with that, little fortune cookies that you would hover over and they'd show your fortune and stuff like that.
So that was you built that in Flash?
Yeah. I did a project a number of years ago for International Paper, the big paper company, and they had an event and we did a website for them. And one of the cool things we did was like these little themed pages based on like on the type of paper that they were doing, and you'd hover over it and it'd show the fortune cookie, fortune hanging out of the cookie when you hovered it.
Is that still on your website?
I have it somewhere, but it's not exactly easy to find.
Oh.
And I don't even know if anybody can run it anymore since it's.
Yeah. I never used it, but I know what it is. Sorry if I missed this earlier in the stream. Is C#.net worth it? Worth learning? I'm just now getting used to JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and MERN, but it feels like jobs want a jack of all trades.
I think it just depends on what you're looking for. C# and .NET are still used a lot in like embedded technologies and IoT and other areas like that. But it doesn't hurt to learn like JavaScript and those other stacks. But if that's not what interests you, I would kind of focus on that. Some things that are kind of gaining popularity are like is Go, which is helping people for creating tooling for different things. There's a terminal called Warp that was built in Go, and that's and there's other tooling that's being created that's really good. So mobile applications is good if you have C# knowledge, because Apple uses kind of a flavor of that for building mobile applications.
In my first job, I remember I had to play around with Kotlin because we had an Android app. We had an Android app, but the app was really just a web page, and it pulled it in like as a container or something like that. Like I was in Android Studio, and yeah, it was really just a website put into the container. So yeah, I used a little bit of Kotlin. Had no idea what I was doing. But I agree, it depends on what you're doing. Some jobs are not gonna require it. It's still a lot of jobs looking for JavaScript, Node, APIs, things like that.
I mean, HTML and CSS, I think HTML is just good to understand, and then also CSS, just like the differences, if you're not interested in the front end, is just understanding the differences between like what an ID is versus like a CSS class, and like how you may target those things using JavaScript. It doesn't mean that you have to know CSS, because if you're not interested in it, I wouldn't spend that time. But just understanding like the ways of targeting different elements in the DOM is useful and important. So.
Have you used Kotlin before?
I have not. I've been able to avoid that.
Okay.
There's people much smarter than me that know it.
They what?
There's people that are much smarter than me that know it. So.
Yeah, I know what I learned about it is literally just how to go into Android Studio and put in a link or something. I can't remember, but it was connected with our Drupal. It was connected with one of our Drupal sites, and it was everything it was all managed through Drupal, but we were able to put it in an Android app.
Yeah, they were using basically Drupal headless.
Yeah. Egberto says, yes, C# is worth learning. I say, why not? You know, if the more knowledge, the better. But I know for me, I'm focusing right now on one thing at a time. But as time goes on, I'll just keep learning as much as I can. You're welcome, El Man. I'm glad we were able to help.
Yeah, a lot of people that come from a computer science background tend to learn C#, and I find them to be pretty successful. So.
Hoping to get focused on the front end next year. Like I said, whether it's with my current company or a new company, I'm so ready. I need just all this knowledge to download into my head. It's like it's such a slow process, but it's fun.
You don't have to know everything.
Yeah.
Just it's understanding the concepts. I actually had a conversation with somebody that's more senior than me. He's been doing this for well over 30 years. And I was just asking him, like, you know, what do you actually consider somebody to be a senior? I'm like, is it that they are fully technically knowledge, or is it also just understanding the concepts? And he said, you kind of lean towards the concepts. Because he's like, there's a lot of things that he knew that he thought he knew, but he didn't, and he had to learn how to pass some of these things on. So it's okay not to know everything, and there's just too much to know to begin with. So.
What I'm starting to understand is that as long as, you know, like you said, understand the concepts, you don't need to know every method or every whatever. Just know how to implement them if you need to. So like a simple example, should I use slice or split? You know, if I may have to Google it, or just very simple example, but at least I know how to get to the solution I'm trying to get to. I have a string and I'm trying to do a thing with the string. Well, what would be the best method to do that? So what's the best tool for this?
And there's a lot of people that are big names in the industry that even have said, like, I have to go back and like Google some of like the silliest, most common things all the time. Like, you know, like adding ellipses at the end of like a paragraph, an intro paragraph or something. So.
Or forgetting the other half of the parentheses, or forgetting the quote at the end of a string.
Yeah, those things are gotchas. Good thing a lot of the tooling that we use now is very smart and gives you better indicators.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. I feel like everybody in the chat or the people I've seen so far, are JavaScript people, which is pretty cool. Is there anybody not doing JavaScript? Is there anybody doing something different? No? Okay. I've seen somebody stream like 8 hours before. Now, could I do that? Probably not. But I've seen it.
Not gonna happen for me.
I even think I've seen 24 hours, but it was like, you know, you're scrolling with YouTube and somebody goes, I live stream for 24 hours straight. Here's what happened. So you didn't go to the bathroom? You didn't eat?
Well, I guess they can turn off their camera and they can mute and they can still do whatever, as long as
Well,
they
I
don't
don't,
stream.
but I don't know the rules to these things though. Are you allowed to take a break?
I hope so.
No, I'm just kidding. So somebody asked me earlier, I'm going to go back to this question. So how often are you going to do these live streams? I've been thinking about this question, and sometimes live streams can be a lot of work because I feel better when I have at least something to talk about or some kind of topic. And I always feel bad if I have just nothing. So there's some level of preparation I have to do before I come on live streams, even if I'm on for like 20 minutes. If there's a lot of engagement, it allows me to continue it for a long time. But sometimes I'll come on for a particular topic, and then based on engagement is how long I'll stay on. So I think sometimes it's just like how much preparation time do I have? Because like I work during the day, and so sometimes after work I'm doing stuff like JavaScript or any other things I have to do, and by that time there's no time to prep, or I may be planning my next video or planning a tech chat, and then so that takes up all of my time. So I think I want to try to get to where I'm doing them every other week, or more than once a month, because I think my last live stream was like 3 months. So ideally I wanted to do them every Sunday, but even still that's a lot for everything I'm doing right now. So maybe I can try to aim for twice a month. Maybe that's my goal, but no promises. Some people, they can say video every week. I can't do that. I can't promise that, because I'll put it and then it'll be 6 months, no video. No, I'm kidding. I try to do videos at least once, as much as I can. But anyway, that's something I'm thinking about. But I'm hoping to do more live streams, especially inviting guests on the channel. I appreciate David for coming on, and hopefully we'll have more. David, if you remember, some people from the meetup, they were interested in joining future live streams on my channel. So
nice.
That'll be awesome to have more guests, different perspectives,
Yeah, that was a good group that we got to meet.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's where I need to improve. Like Berto is on the back end side of things.
What's not your favorite, finance or back end? Oh, C#. Got it. Nice. Well, I appreciate you, David, for joining. I guess I'm going to wrap up the chat now. We've had some great discussions here today. And like I said, I'll try to do it. Maybe I can do streaming twice a month, and we can answer some more questions via the chat. And yeah, so I appreciate everybody for coming on. And David, I appreciate you and your insight. So I'm going to finish my ribs that I ordered from Uber Eats. What was that?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And if you want to hop off now, that's fine. I'm just closing out here.
All right.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna finish my ribs that I ordered from Uber Eats. I've been excited about them for a while now. So thank you guys for joining, and I will see you in the next stream. Bye.